What's up, everybody? I'm George Mossey. This is my co-host Heather C. So last night, I Love a Mama's Boy. We're on season 2, episode 7. First off, I'll say that there was no Tracy, Brian, and Jane last night.
But it was her birthday yesterday.
Oh, happy birthday, Tracy.
Yeah, it was her birthday. So she was out celebrating with her family and everything. So I hope she had a
Hopefully
great time.
Jane was not there.
Or she was. She wasn't bothering you too much.
Stayed out of the hot tub. But let's talk about Theists, Tia, and Carolyn. So we arrive in Vegas.
Okay.
And we are on, well, I want to say Carolyn's birthday, her 70th birthday party, but Tia is also there. So they arrive, they hit the tables right away. Tia stays home to work. No issue there. Everyone knew that she was going to work. The issue started when Tia's off from work at 1 p.m. She expects to be able to get a hold of Theists, and we saw in previous episodes when he and his mom are out, he hits ignore on his cell phone when she calls him, which is
my biggest pet peeve.
That is something that most women will not tolerate. So they have been together for 10 years and you're hitting ignore on her calls.
See, this is like a weird situation because it's like, this is his tradition with his mom and she is at 70 and, you know, he wants to just be able to enjoy this. So maybe, just maybe, if she knew that this was something that he did with his mom, she should have maybe, and I hate to say this because she matters too, but like they should have did a separate vacation or something.
I actually agree with you.
Because you can't expect something from somebody when that's their tradition, because they're going to look at it and be like, well, you know, from birthday to this is what we do. And she's not going to back down because, one, that's her son. And two, that's her place.
And it's her 70th birthday, and she only turned 70 once. It's a huge milestone.
Exactly.
I actually agree with you 100%. Separate trips for the spouse and the mom might be necessary because of this unique relationship.
Exactly. That way nobody's feelings get hurt and they don't feel like they let anybody down and they didn't have to fulfill and let down obligations.
Yeah, no third wheel. So you're always going to be the center of attention. All right, so let's talk about Steph. So Mike and Steph had, well, their parents met and it didn't go as planned, which I thought it wouldn't because they were fighting at the time when they orchestrated the meeting of their parents. So I felt like it wasn't a good time because parents are very critical of relationships and people. So and this is exactly what happened. Liz explained to Steph's mom that Mike isn't 100% sure that Steph is the right person for him. Not that he doesn't want to get married. It took a step further and said that he's not sure if she's the right girl for him. This sent Steph spiraling, so she literally didn't even go home. After this happened, she stayed with her parents and then took a 2-week trip to LA, and she's having a lot of time to think about it. And now I'm worried that the relationship in general is in jeopardy. She's seeing things for what they are now.
Well, only because I think Mike is so indecisive on what he wants to do. Them being on separate pages, so to speak, of their 3-year relationship, she's probably just kind of like, all right, come on, like, give me something here, you know? And it's been very tender with them. So it's just, I don't know. She just seems like her head and her heart are probably in 2 different places. But I hope the best for them. I think that they'll pull through. They make a cute couple.
They really like each other a lot. And I feel like the information that Liz is giving, I think, might be distorted. It might not be 100% the words that came out of Mike's mouth.
Right.
Sometimes information gets relayed differently. So maybe he doesn't feel she's not the right person. Maybe he's just not ready to get married. That's why it's best to talk to each other. Don't let other people give the information to other people for you. Have a conversation with each other.
Speaking of Shakib and Layla and Emily not knowing what they're doing with that situation. I know that ring.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
There.
So Emily's ready to basically get married. Emily is happy. Emily wants a family and she wants a ring. So Shakib is not ready. So they go over to a friend's house and Emily kind of voices her opinion. I kind of said she drug him through the mud. She basically tore Shakib apart in front of their friends and said, look, this is what I want. And she even told her friend that there's a pros and cons list that are equal to each other, which is bad because your pros and cons list should always be outweighed by the good. So I really feel like Layla is being a little sneaky because she knows that Emily is a materialistic girl and purposely telling him to go and buy a cheap promise ring is gonna send Emily over. I feel like this is the straw that's gonna break the camel's back. Whoa. Emily is basically hanging on by a thread And I feel like Layla knows this.
I didn't understand what the difference was for the prices they were going with. Like, the ring that was actually really beautiful, that had all like the rubies and everything
diamonds,
on it,
yeah,
was, I think,
$750.
And the one that they decided on was $5. So what was the extra $250 that couldn't have been put together to just satisfy whatever Emily is trying to do? I mean, personally, I feel like Emily, even though the last couple episodes give me a different take on her, I feel like she really puts a lot aside for Shakib. She puts up with, you know, the strong relationship that he has with his mom and the words that his mom has given her, and, you know, her wanting to start a relationship and then him not being on the same page. So I think, like, what is the $250 just to like satisfy her, to give her something? And it could still be, you know, as a promise ring.
Well, even Shakib said Emily is about the bling and she likes to show off. She wants to show off her ring. She likes to show off her man. She likes to show off things. And some
so does
people,
he, but he didn't say it because Shakib likes to show off his muscles. He likes to show off his Burberry.
Right.
So, I mean, it's the finer things in life. Everybody enjoys it. So you can't fault a girl for wanting
absolutely
the materialistic stuff in life. She wants
No
the man in the ring.
No man wants to buy a Chanel purse or a Louis Vuitton purse, but he will buy that for the woman that he loves because he knows that will make her happy. So, Shakib, you have to make sure you're making her happy. You can't just make Layla happy. All right, so let's talk about Matt, Kim, and Kelly. So it is Mother's Day, which Matt had described as extra. They always do extra, and that's exactly what they did. They went
Those
to Napa
Lord of the
Valley.
Ring pictures proved it.
Yes, Napa Valley, where it's Kelly's favorite place because there's a lot of alcohol involved. And Kim actually enjoys it too. She likes to go out, and she said whenever there's alcohol involved, they always have a good time. So the issue was Matt decided to make this a Mother's Day celebration / which is never a good thing.
That's where
never
you went
a
wrong.
slash.
That's where you went wrong.
Kim's send off to Austin party. Never ever do any double parties or celebrations. It's not fair. Give everyone their own time. And Kim is basically the third wheel. And she realizes even when they start giving gifts that she's never going to get the attention that Kelly gets based on the necklace that Kelly receives and the mug that Kim receives. And I was like, really? She's leaving for a year and you got her a mug, Matt?
This is like, okay, I have two things on this situation that I was dying to talk about. The first one being is that kind of like the first couple scenario, doing a double thing is automatically not a good scenario when you're so close with the one person, because obviously somebody's going to be the third wheel and it's not going to be the mom.
Right.
So if it was Mother's Day, it should have just been Mother's Day, because how can one compete, especially with such a strong relationship, with Mother's Day? And
they had their own language, guys.
Kelly being a strong person, of course she was going to keep that spotlight and not share it. So I feel like that was like number one. Second, I didn't realize how deep their connection was until I started seeing their costume play and their elfish language. I mean, these women, I have to give it to them, because there must be something wonderful in the end of this relationship to have to, like, all the things they deal with on an everyday basis. This is a step further than just mother-in-law. Because, I mean, it's crazy. I love their relationships with their moms, but in the same thing, it's like some of them are they're a little crazy. They're a little questionable.
It's out there. And we did see a preview for next week. There was a huge blowing up. It was a heated argument. And I don't know if Matt and Kelly are gonna, or Matt and Kim are gonna make it through this. There was some
Matt
swearing.
and Kelly will be just fine.
Well, yeah, Matt and Kelly will be fine. But Matt and Kim is what I'm worried about. There was some swearing. They left her at the winery, guys. We have to check out what happened next week because it was intense. Kelly, Kim, we hope you're okay. We know you're okay, Kelly. And thank you guys so much for watching last night's episode and tweeting with us. It was amazing. Again, I'll put our Twitters at the bottom. We live tweet every Sunday. I'm George Mossey. This is my co-host Heather C. And thank you guys for watching. We're going to talk to you guys real soon.
Bye.